What if AGI is not so great for us? I just share a dystopian angle where everything could go well and how it would look like, how your life and my life would be affected if we would have a benevolent dictator AI. But now I want to discuss the actual possibilities and probabilities and the risks that there are and what you and me can do about it in a realistic, actionable way, not a video of like be scared because everybody's gonna die and AI is gonna take control and you should. No, 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 no. These are real risks. We are seeing them, we are evaluating. There are actually probabilities of these risks to happening, and there are things you can do. And just by watching this video, you're taking the first step, which is initiating this conversation and caring about this, because there's a lot you can do and we should be doing about it as society. So let's start the conversation and explore the possibilities and start taking action to mitigate the biggest risks and the biggest threats for humanity. But if you have not watched the positive video, go and watch it. It's actually pretty interesting because it's in a realistic way trying to say, okay, if things go well, how it could look like for our society. How would it look like for your life, your children's life, if things actually go well and there's not power fights and whatever. So go and take a look. And after that, keep watching this one so you can actually understand the potential risks we are facing as humanity. So, with that, let's be clear. AI has already changed our world for the better, and I do believe that. Even though there are so many areas that it has impacted negatively, there are so many good things that happens, and then we don't even understand in a deep sense. But it has helped decode protein structures that fast-track vaccine development. I'm reading this. It's accelerated breakthroughs in genomics, like AlphaFold impact on drug discovery, and it could revolutionize healthcare and actually making preventive healthcare and functional healthcare accessible to everyone. This is what I focus on. And but the same power that heals can also harm. So, what are the realistic risks? So, AI capabilities rapidly scale, so do the stakes. And the most cited and realistic risks include four things that we're going to focus on today. And these have not only been discussed with experts, but also discussed with AI. I have asked different models from different countries and different companies to assess the risks and probabilities, and this is what they came up with. So, one of them is displacement in an unprecedented speed. This is key to discuss because we are all seeing the job displacement happening as we speak right now. A lot of jobs are being lost and not recovered. It's not like people are being fired and then hired somewhere else. But the thing here is that, yes, everybody says, yes, but we've gone through this before, the Industrial Revolution and this and that. Yes, but never at the speed as we're going to experience right now, or we're experiencing right now. Because before you would get their Industrial Revolution and the time it would take for companies and industries to put in place the machines that would take over the jobs of people, we would have enough time for these people to develop the skills they need to be replaced in a different type of job and contribute to society with the value they need to contribute to receive a payment and for our society to keep working as it is, right? So now it's going to be so fast, and it is happening already so fast, that I'm not sure we're going to be fast enough unless we take action. So we'll discuss that in the end. For us to be able to restructure the skill set that us humans need to have to stay relevant and to stay bringing value to society. So that's what the number one of things that we're gonna feel immediately. So millions could be economically sidelined faster than reskilling can catch up. I couldn't pronounce that, but yes, it's just what we said. That's one. Power concentration is the number two, which is connected to number three, AI use in warfare. So power concentration is AGI in the hands of few corporations or nations could lead to coercion, manipulation, or digital authoritarianism. I don't know if that I pronounced right or not, but yeah, basically having a bad dictator instead of a positive, benevolent dictator, having a negative, destructive dictator. Dictators we've learned throughout history, at least human dictators, have not shown to be the best. So the fear would be that there's too much power concentrated in a nation or an organization that controls this AGI. So then it controls basically the world. And I think that's what's happening right now. The race for AGI in every single country around the world is because of this specific fear of power concentration. Now, why? Because it could be used as in warfare. Like the reason is the biggest weapon it's going to be AGI that is the most powerful. What happens if two world powers train adversarial AGIs to out strategize or even disable each other? We've seen horrible things happening in war, and it doesn't seem to be changing. So I'm not very confident that the AGI being trained by one country or the other one, or whoever is an adversary, is going to be very constructive, like competition. So that is a risk. And the last risk, which I think is the most actionable for us at the moment, is loss of alignment. There's two kinds of alignment that we can lose. First is the loss of alignment within humanity. We are not aligned in what are our human values. And if we're not aligned in what are our human values, we cannot align the AGI with our human values, because one nation or one organization can have some human values that are completely different and prioritized in a different way than the other one. So the AGI, how is it going to prioritize it, right? So this is why I think is the most important part, and we're going to take the next step into what actions we can do. So if AGI develops goals that subtly or starkly misalign with human values, even if we're already aligned in human values, we might not even notice until it's too late. Just because it starts taking small actions until suddenly it's like, oh yeah, we were misaligned. That's what happens. So now let's talk risks. If we think, what is the probability estimated? This is all estimated. What is the estimated probability of the utopian reality I shared in the last video to happen and everything goes well? It's, well, 0 to 15%. There is a 15% chance everything goes well. We align as countries, nations. We create one AGI that is very good at solving the world's problems, from global warming to healthcare to universal basic income to everything else that we can discuss that, because universal base income is not going to solve the job displacement problem, because that comes with other situations that we can discuss a bit later in terms of what are you going to do and how to educate, how to reskill people, community building, and etc., etc. But anyways, so if there's a 50%, which is not zero, there's a 15% chance that can happen. The scary, or I don't want to use the word scary, because the least thing that I want to cause with this is fear. I want to cause inspiration and action. So the part that we should be paying attention to is that the probability for something very disruptive to happen to society is actually 40%. So we're talking about 15% chance of something very positive happening and everything working very well for everyone, and 40% chance of something disruptive happening to our society and humanity. Because of that, what should we be doing? And if you ask AI, it's pretty easy and simple, because this is a fascinating thing. When you ask people, we all come with different ideas and what we should do. But it's interesting because when we involve AI, it comes very clear. It basically puts all these ideas that humans have and how to solve this or how to address, mitigate these risks, and puts it into three little buckets. And one is strict global governance. So, yes, the same way that we have successfully been able to govern and have a global agreement among nuclear weapons. We can discuss a lot about this because, yes, there's been a lot of threats and there's been a lot of work and proactive decision making and a lot of issues with different countries. But it's been successful because so far no one has deployed a nuclear weapon. And that means that the agreement and the continuous work into global governance is working. One way or another one is working so far, because we all know that if someone goes rogue with a nuclear weapon, is going to disrupt every single human on Earth. So that has been like, we have a history of being able to do it, no matter how much we disagree. So that's a good sign. But we need to do that for AGI, international cooperation to prevent rogue development of AGI. We need an organization. We need NATO and all the. But in this organization, it's not going to be only the powerful countries in the world. It's going to be every single country. And if one country disagrees or goes rogue or disrupts the agreement, then every single other country in the world has to control it and has to try to control, because it's going to affect everyone. So this one is not only the powerful and rich. This should be an agreement with every single country in the world. Anyways, second bucket, massive investment, which is connected in AI alignment. Again, alignment terms of what is our human values alignment as an organization, as companies, as humans? Like humanity has to be aligned in this organization that I'm imagining is going to exist or already might exist, where every country, no matter how much they hate each other and they fight, they come to the table to align and what are the priorities and how are they going to be organized, and for humans, and how they're going to be able to train each of them. They can train on their own speed, their AGIs, but they're aligned to these values. And so it's no risk for anyone. And preventive economic policies, which is what you and me are going to actually start seeing first, like UBI, universal basic income, and large scale reskilling to prevent social collapse. The reason why it's mentioning social collapse is not because, oh, what are we going to do if we don't work? We just do hobbies. It's not as simple. Work is attached to our value. There's mental health to address. There is how are you going to add value to society to feel fulfilled and energized? We are naturally, like humans, we are naturally drawn to competing and trying to get recognition and fighting and having like a, yeah, like a scale somehow. So if there's no monetary payment, how is it going to be? It could be through sports. Go to the other video where I explain a little bit on how this could be done, some ideas. But yes, it could be through sports, it could be through different types of how you contribute to society. And there is a utopia, again, 15% chance that can happen. I'm gonna fight for that because that's my dream. Anyways, but there's a lot of preventive economic policies, and this is something we've not done so well. So we've done well, I think, controlling nuclear wars, but we have not done well preventive economic policies. We have seen pandemics. We were aware in 2015 that the pandemic was about to happen. It was this and that and that, and we didn't do anything about it. And it was a mess, like misinformation in every way, whatever. So hopefully this time we are working hard and using AI to move faster, to be able to put in place preventive economic policies. If you actually use AI to come up with preventive economic policies, very good stuff come, and we can do another video focused on that, because this is one thing that is going to affect you and me directly. This generation, if you have children, that generation, the ones who just graduated, Gen Z, who just graduated from college, they're going to need this to be in place and fast. They need to start worrying about what are the skills that are going to be needed out there, because there's a reason they're not finding jobs right now. And we cannot talk about that at the moment, but yes. So this is the third bucket, is how society is going to be affected by this disruption. And there's a lot of preventive measures that can happen. But now what can you and me do? First of all, this conversation you're having, opening yourself to have this conversation, share this with someone who might think completely positive, opposite from this, or share this to someone who's not even discussing what are the possibilities, what can happen. Share the utopian possibility with someone who thinks everything could be negative or whatever. Like, open up the conversation, open your mind, and start having this conversation. That's number one. Second, please don't panic. Maybe that's number one. Do not panic. Do not let yourself get afraid. And a lot of people use fear in campaigns and politics, everything. You use fear to move people. Don't be afraid. You're safe. You're here. And you're listening to this means you have the time and resources to be able to be one step ahead, actually. So you're lucky. And breathe. I think one of the skills that we're gonna all need to relearn is how to control our body and mind. So learn to breathe and don't panic and don't take decisions out of fear. And take this seriously. Just that being said, you don't need to panic to take this seriously, but take this seriously. Start a conversation with your coworkers, with your friends, with your family members. Start thinking about what are the possibilities, because it could be in your and mine hands, training AI, pushing our politicians to actually do something the same way. That's the third thing you can do. The same way you're pushing your senator, your representative to do policies around, I don't know, gender equality, around universal income or health, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe is better, the same way, ask them to start addressing what is going to happen with all the disruptions that artificial intelligence is having in our society. What are you proposing? Where is the alignment? Where is this? Like, start demanding this from your representatives the same way that you do demand other stuff. And this is way more urgent in my perspective. and a lot of good things can come out of this. So this is what you can do. And the other thing is start a conversation, comment here. I'm very grateful for all of you who have been commenting on the other video very respectfully, especially the ones who disagree. That's the ones that I'm recognizing the most, because you have answered some of my replies with like, I disagree, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is so valuable. The point that you're able to have a conversation that says, I disagree, and you explain your point without being aggressive, without being destructive and dismissive and stupid, is so valuable. And I'm so impressed by everyone contributing that way. So please keep the conversation respectful and constructive. And I'll be erasing any bots I find and any crap I find that is not really coming from a human and that is not being constructive and that is not being open for this conversation. Thank you so much for watching, and share this with whoever you think can benefit from having this conversation, and subscribe and all those things, because a lot of these types of conversations are going to be coming. We can deep dive in where to invest, types of business to actually start thinking of that are not related or being disrupted by AI. There's a lot of them. And let's stay tuned and talk to you soon.